WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have the fifth and final bottling from the Viking Series from the cooperation of Signatory Vintage and Kirsch Import here in Germany. And if you look at this nice little thing here, I think I see something called Lagata, the wife of Ragnar from the Viking Series, but I don't know. I'm going to compare it to our Whitlaw. Also, look at her. She could be Lagata as well, but I guess that would be breaking some type of copyright law or intellectual property. 144 euros for a Caol Ila that is 8 years old compared to a Whitlaw, which is basically a Highland Park. Now, both of these received a sherry finish. So this one it was bottled, so let's go for distilled. Distilled on the 14th of June 2012, not that long ago. It's only 8 years old, and it was bottled on the 30th of November 2020. Everything else was bottled in December of 2020. This was somehow bottled beforehand. 144 euros, now it goes for between 160 and 220 euros online. So, and this is Whiskybase number 183778, 609 bottles. I have bottled number 559, 58.8%. So over here we have our Whitlaw. The Whitlaw is, Whitlaw was 213 to 220, 2020, and it was in the cask number 120. This is cask number 5. So this is 59.6%. This is 119 euros, and this is 183776. So I personally prefer any day of the week something more the Highland Park over the Caol Ila. Now I hope to be. There we go. I will be and hope to be on the island of Islay in May 2022. I'll be leading a group of 7 men over there. We're going to have a good time. Going to visit all the distilleries and learn as much as possible. Before that, we're in Campbelltown. We'll be at Springbank and Glen Scotia, and then visit as many distilleries as humanly possible on the island of Islay and see what's going on there. And now I need to prepare. This is a part of my whiskey education, is to prepare for my trip to Islay, because I am not yet a peathead. Slowly but surely, I am going to appreciate, I'm coming to appreciate more and more some of the Islay bottlings out there, but I am definitely not a natural-born peathead. So what we have over here is this Caol Ila. Caol Ila is the workhorse of Diageo, basically, on the island of Islay. Up to 8 million liters of whiskey a year, which is amazing that they produce. A lot of the independently bottled whiskeys that we have from Islay are basically from Caol Ila. And let's see here. On the nose, I have a little bit of a fishy iodine moment with a lot of maritime sea salt with some lemon peel, like a little bit of lemon juice on top of that. Behind that, you might get a tiny, tiny little bit of a smoke. Not a tiny little bit. You get the smoke on top of that from the a smokehouse. Think smoked ham. That's what I'm getting here. Behind that, that's what I wanted to say, is a tiny little bit of a berry moment. Blackberries, raspberries, a little bit of black currants, a little bit maybe of a plum there. But the sherry is, for me, at least on the nose, not the secondary, but even the third or the fourth thing behind that primary smoke and that maritime moment. Okay, over here. Ooh, much more of a nice, rounded heather smokiness with berries. I like compared to this. 144 is what I talked about, 119. Both of these are, to be very honest, way overpriced. And on secondary market, double that price sometimes. It's just crazy. Cheers. Mm-hmm. Mm. Now I get that sherry. The sherry is trying to dance tango with the smoky peatedness. And they are dancing. There is a certain coherency here, but it's definitely not my dance. So, and what I'm getting still is that maritime, salty, saline moment. Question of the day, where does the salt come from in my whiskey? That salty taste, that sea, air, salt moment. Salt is not something that actually goes through the distillate. When you distill through a pot still, on the other side, you're not going to have salt. The salt will actually collect and stay in the pot stills. There are scientific research papers about salt in whiskey. They took a spectrometer and actually analyzed the contents of the whiskey. Salt wasn't in it. And yet we taste salt. Where does that salty taste then therefore come from? What's going on in our palate, in our mouth? We don't have very many receptors in the mouth that we can get. We can get sweet and sour and bitter and umami and so on. And so maybe there's something going on there that we have that we interpret as salty that is not salty, but I don't know. Maybe someone can write either their own explanation or give me a link in the chat. That would help a lot. As I said, I'm preparing for my trip to Ila, May 2022, and I really need to learn a lot about this. These whiskeys that have eluded me for the last 5 years, basically. The Whitlaw, I'm still at cask strength here. Prefer much more. Totally different sherry taste profile. Oh yeah. A little bit fruitier, nicer. The heather, smoky peatedness of this is more subtle. They're not dancing a tango like over here. They're dancing more like a waltzer. It's not like a secret battle that's going on. It's actually harmony that actually fits together. Very, very nice. Let's dilute these down. Now, I am very, very sure that if my friend was over here and he likes peated Islay whiskeys, he would be giving this whiskey a B-, maybe even a C++, but he really, really likes this. I don't, to be honest. Oh, by the way, a tiny little thing that I found out, these are all called Ibisco glass vases. And I Googled Ibisco glass vase and I found basically nothing. I found whiskey in these glasses, but no real mention of where these bottles come from. And then I had to Google a little bit differently and found something. They're actually from the Bormioli Rocco, Italian producer of unique glassware in Italy. And so for somehow there's a wonderful connection between them and then Signatory Vintage. And so that's why we have these decanters here with these wonderful labels and the wonderful bottles on both of these here. So great class bottoms, heavy, high class bottlings, very, very expertly made. So thank you very much. The artwork is from Tom Thiele. He is a German graphic artist. Very, very, very well done as well. So I think that should be, and needs to be mentioned at least once here. Now, this is a great Caol Ila if you like Caol Ila. I don't. At least I don't think I like Caol Ila. At least I don't like this Caol Ila. It's a well-made whiskey, just not my flavor profile. I did this more for me than for you. This is part of my whiskey education, as I mentioned. What is your favorite independently bottled Caol Ila, where the name is on it, or you just know that it is Caol Ila, is also the next question I can ask. I do not like that smoked ham moment. That citrus moment. A little bit of that wood ash moment. The Whitlaw is more up my alley, even though this is not the best whiskey in the world. But it is a better whiskey for me. All right, I'm going to give this actually for me a D. As I said, other people are going to give it a C++ B minus, value for money, D. I do not think it's worth 114 euros. I do not think it's worth 240 euros as going on online at the moment either. Definitely not. So that's the way that is. So first of all, where does salt come from in my Islay whiskeys? And second of all, which independently bottled Caol Ila, especially at higher proof, could you recommend? Thank you. WhiskyJason here. Like, subscribe, tell others, and you'll keep on seeing a lot of videos arriving here on my channel. All the best. Bye-bye.